Hello and welcome to our nightly news. These are the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, ended the duties of Mohamed Bukhari as Minister for Trade and Export Promotion and appointed Kamal Rizik to the position. He has also dismissed Rabia Kharfi from her role as President of the National Economic, Social and Environmental Council, naming Mohamed Bukhari as her successor. And a look back to Sunday's major economic event, the annual meeting of economic operators with the President of the Republic. Major decisions were taken and Algeria's ambitious vision was highlighted. Algeria expels 12 French embassy staff and declares them persona non grata. Full statement of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs coming up shortly. Algeria and Ethiopia strengthen long-standing ties and reaffirm support for Sahrawi self-determination. And Algeria's multilateral approach in combating illicit migration and human trafficking is at the heart of the Scientific Forum on Migration. Welcome back, everyone. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, ended the duties of Mohamed Bukhari as Minister for Foreign Trade and Export Promotion. Kamal Rizik has been appointed to the position. The President of the Republic has also dismissed Rabia Kharfi from her role as President of the National Economic, Social and Environmental Council, naming Mohamed Bukhari as her successor. Algeria has taken in a sovereign manner the decision to declare 12 employees working at the French embassy and its consular representations in Algeria who belong to corps under the supervision of the French Ministry of Interior persona non grata, requiring them to leave the national territory within 48 hours. And this, according to a statement issued Monday by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, National Committee Abroad and African Affairs. The statement explained that this decision follows the public degrading arrest carried out by services under the French Ministry of the Interior on April 8, 2025, targeting a consular staff member of a sovereign state accredited in France. This disgraceful act, which the French Ministry of the Interior undertook with the aim of insulting Algeria, was carried out in a clear disregard for the status of this consular official and with no respect whatsoever for diplomatic customs and conventions, in flagrant violation of the relevant agreements and treaties. Algeria reminded that this assault on its sovereignty is nothing but a result of the ongoing negative and disgraceful posture of the French Minister of the Interior towards Algeria. The statement noted that this minister, known for disgraceful practices driven by purely personal motives, blatantly lacks even the slightest political sense. The degrading arrest of a consular staff member protected by the immunities and privileges linked to his status and the shameful treatment he received as if he were a thief places full responsibility on the said minister for the path that bilateral relations between Algeria and France may now take, especially at a time when these relations had begun entering a phase of detente, following the phone call between the two heads of state, which was followed by the French foreign minister's visit to Algeria. Algeria affirmed that any further act encroaching on its sovereignty by the French Minister of the Interior will be met with a firm and appropriate response in line with the principle of reciprocity. Algeria aims to become Africa's top economy within the next few years. President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, and during his meeting with economic operators, called for greater local investment and export diversification as he announced sweeping reforms. Najah with a roundup.
Algeria is aiming to become the first or second economic power in Africa within the next 2 years. This bold ambition relies on boosting the national investment, encouraging young entrepreneurs and diversifying exports beyond hydrocarbons. Speaking at the opening of the second edition of the national meeting with the economic operators, the President of the Republic emphasized that the real development cannot happen without increasing the industrial sector's contribution to the gross domestic product. The The head of the state also pointed out that the Algerian economy, which grew by 4.1% in 2023, is expected to maintain strong momentum with a projected growth rate of 3.9 to 4% in 2024. This growth is largely driven by the continued investment across various sectors, especially industry, which alone represents nearly 50% of the new investments.
أنتم تعلمون التزامنا أن في سنة آخر 27 أقصاها آخر 27 ندخل في تعداد الدول الناشئة pays émergents 2027 إن شاء الله. وكنت التزمت بدخل قومي خام يساوي أو يفوق 400 مليار دولار إن شاء الله. وهذا هو الهدف الذي لازم نتجند حوله كلنا كما رانا في هذه القاعة هذه إن شاء الله، حتى الناس اللي خارج القاعة.
Algeria has set a goal of reaching $10 billion in non-hydrocarbon exports this year. To support this objective, the Algex agency has been restructured and will be replaced by 2 new bodies dedicated to managing exports and imports. The President of the Republic also urged the economic operators to establish their own private banks, reinforcing the role of the private sector in financial development. He further emphasized the importance of improving access to land for investment, proposing the creation of a business park in every municipality to support the local economic activity.
مطالبة ابتداء من هذا الاجتماع باش نخلق هيئتين عصريتين تتماشيان مع الاقتصاد الحالي. هيئة الاستيراد وتكون عندها كما قلت ان سيستم دو في ا تو لي نيفو على المواد باش ما تنقصش المواد في الجزائر، حتى ماده ما لازمها تنقص، ونحاول الاستيراد يكون على حساب الحاجيات تاع البلاد وعلى حساب الانتاج الوطني. معناه باللي عندك ارقام حقيقيه نتاع الانتاج الوطني. نخلقوا هذه المؤسسات جديدة، مؤسسة للاستيراد ومؤسسة للتصدير تساعد المصدرين تنظمهم. هذو المؤسستين نعطوا نفوسنا مدة نتاع حتى نهاية ماي إن شاء الله المؤسستين يكونوا جاهزين إن شاء الله.
The President of the Republic highlighted the tourism sector as an area of recent progress, emphasizing that it remains open to all those interested in investing. He encouraged the economic operators to show patriotism to promote our country and seize the opportunity available in this field. He also recalled the measures already taken to boost tourism and attract investors, including efforts to promote Algeria as a destination and facilitate visa procedures for foreign visitors.
And amid global uncertainty, Algeria is gaining economic momentum. Canal, head of the Algerian Economic Renewal Council, underscored the role of structural reforms and strategic vision in positioning investment at the heart of financial development.
Algeria is experiencing a phase of robust economic momentum, as underscored by Canal, President of the Algerian Council for Economic Renewal. During a national meeting with economic operators, he highlighted the progress achieved in recent years in the areas of integrated development, job creation and investment promotion, progress that stems from a well-defined strategic vision and the strong commitment of key economic stakeholders. The world is currently undergoing rapid geostrategic transformations that confront nations with complex and perilous challenges. Aware of the gravity of this context, Algeria has developed a comprehensive strategy aimed at establishing the necessary mechanisms to address these challenges and to strengthen its resilience across all sectors. This is being pursued within the framework of a holistic, integrated development model in which economic growth is positioned as a central driving force of national progress. The investment landscape in Algeria is currently experiencing a genuine upturn, supported by structural reforms and a more attractive incentive framework. This momentum is reflected in the growing interest and active engagement of economic operators.
There is real momentum. People genuinely want to invest. Personally, after spending many years in Switzerland, I take pride in the investment because I believe in Algeria's development. This is a valuable initiative. It will help rebuild trust among economic economic operators across sectors, whether in agriculture, tourism or industry, at a time when fear was widespread both among investors and within the administration. Today, the President of the Republic is providing full assurance. National economic policy places significant emphasis on youth. For the first time, we're seeing the introduction of several key laws, the Setup Law, the ASF, the creation of the Algerian Setup Fund, and just as importantly, a strong desire among young Algerians, including those in the diaspora, to pursue entrepreneurship. Today, we had the honor of meeting with the President of the Republic. It was a highly productive and insightful exchange. We had the opportunity to share with him the concerns and challenges faced by various economic operators. The President listened attentively and offered guidance rooted in his renewed vision for economic development.
Nous a donné ses orientations concernant sa nouvelle vision sur le plan de développement économique.
These encouraging indicators reflect a collective ambition to advance decisively and to position investment as a key pillar of Algeria's national development strategy.
And driven by a bold strategy of economic renewal, Algeria is accelerating its industrial transformation. Under President Abdelmajid Tebboun's leadership, structural reforms and investment support have laid the groundwork for a diversified, resilient economy with record growth in exports and a clear ambition to reduce reliance on hydrocarbons. Misa Lila Balama reports.
Engaged in a dynamic process of economic renewal, Algeria has experienced a genuine industrial revival since 2020. Under the leadership of President Abdelmajid Tebboune, both public and private enterprises have been supported to invest, produce and export. The number of exporters has surged by 150%, reflecting a clear opening toward new economic horizons and a firm commitment to diversification. In just a few years, Algeria has achieved progress that many other countries take decades to realize. Thanks to the President of the Republic's strategic vision, Algeria continues to implement reforms and accumulate achievements, thereby strengthening the foundations of sustainable and sovereign development. More than 14,000 investment projects were registered between November 2022 and December 2024. The country's GPD reached $267 billion in 2023, with the ambition of reaching $400 billion by 2027. Through an efficient strategy, Algeria is moving steadily towards building a strong, diversified and non-hydrocarbon-based economy, one that generates wealth and employment, while reinforcing national food security.
In other news, Algeria and Ethiopia are actively pursuing stronger bilateral cooperation based on mutual respect and support for just causes, driven by a shared vision for unified and stable Africa. Melissa Kepesh.
Algeria and Ethiopia are actively exploring new avenues to deepen their strategic partnership, building upon a foundation of historical ties rooted in mutual trust, robust bilateral cooperation, and a shared vision for the African continent. A final statement has been issued underscoring the determination to translate existing goodwill into tangible on-the-ground results. Discussions culminated in the signing of 9 memoranda of understanding and 2 executive programs, signaling a concrete deepening of ties across multiple sectors.
Having said that, I invite all of us to remain committed to the Algerian-Ethiopian strategic partnership and to remain engaged in the process of preserving and further nurturing its current momentum. I am saying so because we all need to be mindful of the fact that the real success is the one that will emanate from the implementation of what has been agreed upon today. It is the one that will be translated into concrete actions of cooperation on the ground.
Indeed, both nations have explicitly stated their unwavering support for the right of the people of Western Sahara to self-determination and adherence to the legal status of the region. This unified stance aligns with various resolutions of the UN Security Council and the General Assembly, emphasizing the primacy of these international bodies in the decolonization process. In addition to the bilateral discussions, Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf engaged in significant diplomatic activity on the sidelines of the meeting. He held talks with the chairperson of the African Union's Commission, Mahmoud Ali Youssef, as well as the deputy chairperson, Malika Haddadi. Minister Attaf also met with the Foreign Minister of Burundi, further underscoring Algeria's active diplomatic engagement.
And the fight against migrant smuggling and human trafficking is at the heart of the Scientific Forum on Migration organized by the Ministry of the Interior, which opened this Monday in Algiers, witnessing the presence of the Minister of Interior, Ibrahim Rouad, who delivered a speech on this occasion. Najh.
Experts from various Arab countries have gathered for a 3-day scientific forum dedicated to exchange and reflection. The event aims to strengthen efforts in combating migrant smuggling and human trafficking. Discussions in this forum will center on updated investigation and surveillance techniques tailored to the evolving tactics of criminal networks. In line with the guidelines laid down by the President of the Republic, Algeria has adopted a comprehensive, integrated and multidimensional approach over the past few years, covering judicial, security, operational and human aspects. This strategy has been developed in coordination with all the parties concerned, and it's constantly being strengthened and adapted to keep pace with changes in modus operandi of related crimes. Within this framework, the public authorities have sought to put in place an updated and coherent legal framework in line with international standards in the fight against these transnational crimes and based on rigorous measures enabling the security and justice services to combat human trafficking and smuggling networks effectively. The forum features workshops and discussions covering topics such as the artificial intelligence, international criminal law, financial forensics and the exchange of experiences, with cooperation being the main guiding principle uniting all the participants.
Il faut savoir que la traite des personnes
It's important to understand that human trafficking currently generates over $32 billion a year through criminal networks worldwide. This is a global, transnational phenomenon, which means it requires strong collaboration among all countries, law enforcement bodies and frontline response agencies. Of course, this also includes working with operational partners and United Nations agencies, but above all, it demands bilateral and transnational cooperation between the countries that deal with the daily fight against human trafficking and migrant smuggling.
Mais avant tout, une collaboration bilatérale, transnationale.
Algeria has made great strides in this area. There has also been notable progress in the governance of the migration issue in general and in the fight against smuggling and human trafficking. Algeria, which shares long borders with several countries, approaches the migration issue with professionalism, and significant progress has been made in recent years.
This forum sends a clear message: people's dignity must come first. Its recommendations will boost the regional efforts against migrant smuggling and improve the coordinated action across the region.
And on the sidelines of the forum, Interior Minister Ibrahim Rouad held talks with the head of Nayaf Arab University for Security Sciences, Dr. Abdul Majid bin Abdullah Al-Banyan. The Interior Minister also met with the head of the International Organization for Migration Mission in Algeria and their regional director. For his part, the Minister of Justice, Lutfi Boujma, had bilateral talks with the head of Nayaf Arab University for Security Sciences, Dr. Abdul Majid bin Abdullah Al-Banyan. The Secretary of State to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in charge of the National Committee Abroad, Soufiane Shaib, received yesterday a high-level Mauritanian parliamentary delegation headed by the chairman of the Mauritanian-Algerian Parliamentary Friendship Committee, Mustafa Suhaib. The talks were an opportunity to commend the positive development in bilateral relations and the economic aspect in light of the opening of the border crossing and the maritime line between the two countries. Algeria has launched the Taqati Plus project, an ambitious cooperation initiative with Germany and the European Union focused on renewable energies and green hydrogen. The project aims to develop innovative solutions by 2029, promoting energy efficiency, supporting Algeria's experience in green energy, and attracting investment. The launch was marked by the presence of the Secretary of State for Renewable Energy, the European Union and German ambassadors, as well as representatives from national institutions and project partners. Return now to the escalating crisis in Mali, where the political situation has taken a dramatic turn, threatening the stability of the country. Melissa Kebesh explains.
The situation in Mali has been marked by a concerning deterioration, culminating in a military coup that has further destabilized the country, raising significant concerns both domestically and internationally regarding the future of the country and the potential for a prolonged period of instability.
Today we have new enemies that are using our communities, which is why today we should be careful in our country.
Indeed, there is no political legitimacy or national vision, only authority imposed by force of arms and an external force that feeds chaos and exhausts any attempt at reconciliation.
Aujourd'hui, des gens restent à distance.
Today there are some people who are trying to create chaos to reach war, because when we will be fighting and hundreds will be dead, they will come and exploit our resources. Who will win then?
Eux vont venir piller nos ressources tranquillement. Qui va être gagnant?
Goita and his associates are essentially tools for outside parties. These external actors, careless about Mali, and even seek its weakness to serve their own interests.
And 5 Palestinians were martyred on Monday in a shelling by Zionist forces targeting a house in the town of Khaza'a, east of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. 4 others were also killed in another shelling that struck the Shuja'iyya neighborhood and Rashid Street in Gaza City. And following a successful operation that has led to the arrest of a drug trafficker and the confiscation of 66 kilograms of cocaine on Friday, security services under the Ministry of National Defense, detachments of the PNA in coordination with Algerian Customs and National Security, seized an additional 66 kilograms of cocaine on Saturday at the Adrar military sector in the 3rd military region. These results are part of ongoing efforts by the PNA units and security services to prevent the entry of toxic substances, which criminal groups, in particular those active near the Moroccan border, are attempting to smuggle into the country. That was it for today's news. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.